Already Tracy challenge Black Dusk, Clown, Criminal Arsenal, Flashbang Revenge, and less health. So it's, well, Criminal Arsenal, so we don't actually have a thumper, and it's less health, and that's generally not a great for Black Dusk. But then for Flashbang Revenge, instead of, well, having terrible flashbangs, we could just have the flashbang stay over there, rather than going towards us in a room that's very much enclosed and maybe not all that great for not, well, getting flashbang 20 times. So, all in all, Flashbang Revenge is generally better than just having Flashbang Frenzy, which is generally a good thing overall. So we're just gonna take off that over there. And then we're just gonna continue avoiding getting, well, Flashbang if it isn't already obvious, but we're taking up the units over there, and afterwards we're just gonna use Breaching Charge instead of using a Thumper, which is perfectly valid. And then finally there's the lack of a sniper, and the lack of, well, hi there you, and for that matter, the lack of, and for that matter, the lack of a thumper, which does not really matter. Are we done yet? Right then. So, we're just gonna wait for presumably one more squad to presumably show up, since that's kind of how this... Exactly. So now we're just gonna run through here, not get shot, and then I'll just run through here, which might not be the most ideal way of doing things, but it's certainly working out just fine. So we're gonna go with exactly that. We're gonna breach this over here. And because for some reason I really want some solid ammunition, we're just gonna start bypassing this over here, which might not end all that great, but we could get this around, let's just say, mostly done before we have to go back over here to defend. Oh, good. Hi there. So, sure. Well, I mean, it is open. So we could always just go over here, grab this over here, and grab that over there, which... I mean, sure, right? But afterwards we're just gonna go back through here, and afterwards, all in all, just try and avoid, once again, getting shot all that many times. But so far there are no units, which is kind of how this works, and then we're just gonna heal up right now, since this seems about the suitable time, even though it's less health, and we could in theory heal up later and then subsequently not lose anything. But at a certain point, it just doesn't really become all that worth it, so we're just gonna go through here, so I'm just gonna breach over there, and we're just gonna go through here, which... that could be timed slightly better, but you know what, we're just gonna go over here now. Plan is over here, and before any units show up, we're just gonna run through here, which... Hi there, folks. Actually... we'll do that first. For the sole reason of because we could, and that's the only reason, so... we're gonna actually not focus on grabbing any medkits because we don't actually need it all that much. And then we're just gonna take over this spot from Cyber so that, well, things don't go all that badly. I mean, it's kind of how the... So we'll just block that off, and then we'll just go through here. Seems like an awfully great time right around now, so we're just gonna go through here. Now, I do ideally wish that I had, well, a bit more health than this, but for the most part, things should work out decently fine with exactly this, so... the simple solution is to just not get more medkits, because that's far riskier, and at that point we genuinely might just use the medkit while trying to get another medkit, which we don't actually really need all that much, so we're not gonna do that. And then just saying, we've got Juggernauts over there that we did, well, sure, at the start, so we could probably get, let's just say, 1 or 2 medkits over there, so that's gonna work out perfectly fine on that front. And for now, we're just gonna take a view over there. And so far, we've got S97s and shotguns, which means that I'm expecting, let's just say, 3 more shotgunners before we could even barely consider moving, because, well, it's less health, and meeting shotgunners face to face does not seem like the best idea. For not dying. In general, or for, well, for that matter, anything. But quite unfortunately, things do not seem to be looking all that great on trying to... Well, I will say I did find the 3 shotgunners, it's just not exactly where I wanted them, but... Then again, we could play tag with all of them, and if they just don't find us, or just don't catch us, things are gonna go perfectly fine. I mean, if they're gonna go on a chase and they're not gonna find anything, or if they're just a bit too slow, then, well, frankly, it doesn't really matter all that much. So we're gonna go with exactly that. We're gonna go through here now, and then afterwards we're gonna go over there. And of course, we've got one more breaching charge that we can spend on this door over here, so that we could hopefully get behind something that's half decent as cover before we, well, get shot, since that's precisely how this always goes. So because I expect the units right around now, we're just gonna awkwardly wait over here and just not go outside, because that's, well, because I'm not really all that fond of meeting 3 shotgunners right aside to that corner over there. Or that corner over there if I choose to go a different route, but that's, but neither of those are really good options, so I suppose we could. It's not a great idea, but we could, and it's so far working out just fine. I'm not saying that this is all in all advisable, but we're still alive, and that's, I suppose, to some extent, the goal here, to stay alive, which means that I'm gonna go through here. We're gonna quickly grab these 2 over here, and hopefully not meet the units over there, because that's not really particularly what I want. So as we continue to not meet the units, thankfully, we're gonna wait for those 2 to be planted over there. We'll place one over here, and afterwards we'll run across over there. And then continue to hopefully not meet the units, because the moment Cyber meets some units, we need to start moving, because, well, at that point there's a much higher risk of, well, units starting to spawn, and that's generally not considered all that great of a thing. Because once those units die, there might be units over here, there might be units over there, and there might be units everywhere, which, shockingly, is not all that great of a thing, so we'll just awkwardly do that for a bit first. And then we'll move closer, so that we could, well, shove up here and do this. And then afterwards you could get our MM20 out, just so that we are ready for absolutely any units instead of, well, reloading. And, well, hi there units, but regardless, that's the daily challenge in just under 7 minutes and 15 seconds. Cheers everyone, have a great time!